Hello students, good evening. So iniki we are going to look at the oblique projectile motion. Already first session we talked about the idea of 2D motion, general 2D motion and 3D motion, and that is where we started. Adukapram we talked about the horizontal projectile motion. Look at the oblique projectile motion. If you look at most of the past year NEET questions, right, maximum in the you will get the questions. Okay, so what is this oblique projectile? Oblique projectile and another. So if you are throwing any object with some initial velocity, maybe the initial velocity may be 5 meter per second or 10 meter per second, some velocity you have to give it. Okay, and at an angle theta with the horizontal. So we have to throw from the surface of earth. Okay, we are throwing. We have to throw it with an initial velocity u. We are giving initial velocity u, making an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay, wow. So how do we assess or how do we analyze the motion of the projectile? Like already the horizontal projectile what we are going to do, we will split horizontal motion taniya, adukapram vertical motion taniya. Okay va. So if you look at the horizontal motion, right, the tile is making an angle with the horizontal theta with the horizontal. Upon the horizontal component of velocity u times cos theta dana component eppadi, if you are making an angle theta means and the particular direction la component it will be u cos theta, and the vertical component of velocity it will be u sin theta. So horizontal direction, what is the initial velocity u cos theta. Horizontal direction acceleration kadiyadu, because projectile enna theriyuma, it is moving under the influence of gravity. It will be only having acceleration due to gravity g downwards. Horizontal direction it will not be having any acceleration. Okay, which means this is like what? It's like uniform velocity motion. Even in the horizontal projectile motion, horizontal projectile motion also, we throw the object horizontally with some velocity. Okay, but here we are throwing the object with a velocity making an angle theta with the horizontal. So the initial velocity the u cos theta, it is going to remain as it is. Here acceleration is 0. Okay, vertical direction vertical direction, initially it is having a velocity. What is the value? U sin theta, direction upwards, means uy, initial vertical component of velocity plus u sin theta, plus because it is upwards. Acceleration g downwards, that is why it is coming as what? Minus, as per the sign convention. Okay va. So in the oblique projectile motion, what is the horizontal component of the velocity? It will be throughout constant. Here the acceleration in the horizontal direction is 0. For the horizontal component, what is the thing that is going to remain constant? Velocity will remain constant. What is the value of the velocity? U cos theta. Okay, and in the vertical direction, vertical direction, what is the important thing? Acceleration. Vertical direction, it will be having acceleration. Acceleration will be what? G downwards. So this is the basic concept of the oblique projectile. Horizontal direction, it is going to move with constant velocity, but vertical it is having an initial velocity upwards but acceleration downwards. Its velocity keeps decreasing. I am talking about in the direction, vertical direction. Vertical direction, the velocity will keep decreasing. Initial velocity is upwards, acceleration downwards, so velocity will keep decreasing. It will go to a particular point where and the vertical component of velocity will become 0. At that particular point, the vertical component of velocity becomes what? 0. This point is what we will be calling as maximum height point and so, because the projectile will start coming down on the baka. So the projectile will be starting to come down. So this is what we'll see as the oblique projectile. Why are we giving the name oblique? We are throwing it at a particular angle with the horizontal. That is the reason why we are giving it the name oblique projectile. Okay, so just like the horizontal projectile we are also going to have some standard results and standard formula. So we'll have to look at எப்படி இந்த standard result and standard formulas வருதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, and also we will try to look at some problems based on that. Okay va? So இப்போ பாருங்க, first we will start with equation of the trajectory. Same என்ன தெரியுமா, almost நம்ம அங்க என்னென்ன கவர் பண்ணிருக்கோம், almost we will cover the same things, but இதுல என்ன you will get some more extra quantities. Okay, so equation of trajectory என்னது, the relation between the x coordinate and y coordinate of the particular locations of the projectile. அதுதான் equation of trajectory. Okay, so இங்க பாருங்க, if you take the starting point as the origin, so wherever நம்ம the initial point we take it as what, origin. So அதிலிருந்து the movement along the horizontal is taken as what, the x direction, and movement along the vertical direction is taken as what, y. Okay va? So horizontal we are taking it as what, x, and vertical we are taking it as what, y. Okay, so now we have to look at the equation of the trajectory. So horizontal அப்படிதான, same procedure, தனித்தனியா we have to separately study it. Vertical இங்க பாருங்க, so in horizontal, so we will take for a time t, time t க்கு அப்புறம் let's say the particle is coming to the point p, இங்க வருதுன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. What is the அந்த particle y coordinate என்னன்னு பாருங்க. What is the y coordinate? It is nothing but the displacement along the y direction தானா, or the vertical displacement. X coordinate என்னன்னு பாருங்க. What is x coordinate? Displacement along the, what is x coordinate? Displacement along the horizontal. So for that particular point p, அதோட x coordinate என்ன, the displacement along the horizontal line. Y coordinate is what, displacement along the vertical line. So இப்போ பாருங்க, after some time t, so first what is the initial velocity along the x direction, u cos theta, acceleration 0. அப்ப என்ன வரும், if you want to look at what is the displacement formula என்ன, u into t தான, ஏன்னா this is what, this is the case of constant velocity. So that constant velocity value எவ்வளவு, u cos theta. So it is what, u cos theta into t. This is the displacement along the horizontal. That is what, the x coordinate of that particular point. So இங்க பாருங்க, x is equal to what, u cos theta into t. This is our equation 1 ன்னு வெச்சுக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? அதுக்கு அப்புறம் y direction என்ன வரும் பாருங்க. Y direction, what is the initial velocity, u sin theta. Initial vertical component of velocity எவ்வளவு, u sin theta. Acceleration minus g. So we have to be careful. ஏன் நம்ம அந்த minus g எடுக்கிறோம், because in vertical direction upward we take. Okay, அதுக்கு அப்புறம் we have to find what, after time t, what is the vertical displacement. Formula என்ன, s is equal to ut plus half at square formula, right? Initial vertical velocity எவ்வளவு, u sin theta. U sin theta into t plus half at square. A is what, minus g. So minus half gt square. So y is equal to what, u sin theta into t minus half gt square. எப்படி வருது, we are taking it as what, y coordinate is nothing but the displacement along the vertical line. அதுக்கு which formula we are using, s is equal to ut plus half at square formula. Okay va? So இப்போ what are we having, we are having the x coordinate of the particular point, அந்த மாதிரி we are also having the y coordinate of the particular point. இப்போ நாம என்ன பண்ணணும், because we are looking for trajectory, right? Trajectory என்னது, the relation between the x coordinate and y coordinate. Trajectory is what, it is the equation of the path. Trajectory is the equation of the path. Equation of the path means we should not have time. Other time varakudadu. It should be only a relation between the x coordinate location and y coordinate location. Okay, so inga parunga, from equation 1 lande we will get the time value. Time evla, x by u cos theta. அப்படியே அந்த u cos theta left side எடுத்துட்டு போலாம். What you are going to get, t is equal to x by u cos theta. Substitute this in the second equation. Y is equal to u sin theta. All these are what, new derivations. இங்க parallel இந்த derivations எல்லாம் ட்ரை பண்ணலாம். So t க்கு பதிலா நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண போறோம், x by u cos theta வரும் பாருங்க, minus half g x by u cos theta the whole square. So இது என்னது, u cancel ஆயிடும், sin theta by cos theta எவ்வளவு, tan theta. So x tan theta, so y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. Is the trajectory equation. So what is it, y is equal to what, x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. இது நமக்கு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். ஏன் தெரியுமா, in I think one of the previous year NEET examல they have asked straight question based on the formula. So if you remember the formula means you will be able to answer that question easily. என்னது, what is the final formula பாருங்க, what is the final equation of the oblique projectile, என்னது, y is equal to what, x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta, எல்லா denominatorல வரும். Okay, so இது என்ன தெரியுமா, if you look at the normal equation of any parabola, அது எப்படி இருக்கு தெரியுமா, it will be what, y is equal to, it will be like this, either ax plus bx square type. How the normal equation of parabola, it will be like what, y is equal to ax plus bx square. இங்க பாருங்க, it is like what, a constant into x இருக்கா, and constant into x square. இங்க பாருங்க, you will have a constant term into x square. So this represents what, the equation of the parabola. So we'll say, so in the horizontal projectile, what did we see, we are comparing the equation of that horizontal projectile with the standard equation of the parabola. What is standard equation of parabola, y is equal to ax square type. This is the standard equation of parabola. Okay, the standard equation எப்படி வருது, okay, I think there was some disturbance in between. So just check it, what is it that we have, the equation of the trajectory, equation of trajectory of the oblique projectile. So இதுக்கப்புறம் we have to also remember this equation, என்னது, y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. Okay, so look at this question, illustration question. If the equation of the trajectory of an oblique projectile, if the equation of an oblique projectile is given by y is equal to x minus x square by 8, என்னது, what is the equation, y is equal to what, x minus x square by 8. okay வா, find the angle of projection, என்ன find out பண்ணணும், find angle of projection and the initial velocity of projectile. Initial velocity of projectile என்னது தெரியுமா, u. So என்னென்ன நம்ம find out பண்ணோம், theta find out பண்ணோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் u. So what is the given equation, y is equal to x minus x square by 8. எப்படி தெரியுமா, like this is what I was saying, இந்த மாதிரி questions we can expect. So எப்படி இந்த question solve பண்றது, we have to just compare as it is with the standard equation. Standard equation என்ன, y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. அதுதானா, what is the standard equation, y is equal to what, x tan theta minus, and the standard equation இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணது y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. அப்படியே நம்ம கம்பேர் பண்ணா we are going to get the required values. இங்க பாருங்க, so x ஓட coefficient எவ்வளவுங்க, tan theta, இங்க என்னது 1, which means what, I'll just erase some part of it, இல்லனா I'll use a different color. இங்க பாருங்க, so I'll compare, first என்ன பண்ண போறோம், compare the coefficient of x. X ஓட coefficient compare பண்ண என்ன வரும், 1 is equal to tan theta. Tan theta is equal to 1 means theta ஓட angle என்ன, theta ஓட value என்ன, 45, because tan 45 உள்ள 1. What is tan 45 value, 1. okay வா. So other than we have to look at, so we can just erase this part. Okay, so other than we have to find what is the u value, right? Adukku நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம் தெரியுமா? We will have to compare the coefficient of x square. First நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம்? We have compared the coefficient of x. அதுக்கப்புறம் now we are going to compare the coefficient of x square. இங்க பாருங்க, what is the coefficient of x square? இதுலயும் minus இருக்கு, இதுலயும் minus இருக்கு. So I will not take the minus. இங்க பாருங்க, what is it? 1/8 is equal to g by 2u square. அதுக்கப்புறம் cos square theta. Already theta value நமக்கு தெரியும். What is theta value? 45. அப்ப cos square theta என்ன தெரியுமா? Cos theta எவ்வளவு? 1/√2. Cos 45 1/√2. So 1/√2 the square. Okay, இது என்னது? 1/√2 square means 1/2, இந்த 2 cancel ஆயிடும். So பாருங்க, u square is equal to 8g. Okay, so if you take g is equal to 10, அப்போ u square is equal to 80. அதுல இருந்து u will be equal to what? √80. Okay, so then the remainder will be, if you take 80 as 16 into 5, 4√5 approximately u oda value enna 4√5 varum. Eppadi varudhu? So this kind of questions, right, we will just have to compare with the standard equation and the oblique projectile standard equation. What theriyuma? What is it? Y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. Appadi and the equation compare panna we will be able to know what is the theta value namakku varum. And madri we will also get what is the value of u. Okay, another concept paranga. So we are going to look at what is the instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity enna solli nama paaka porom. Instantaneous velocity enna theriyuma? Because the horizontal side la enna, the velocity will be remaining always constant. Why? Horizontal direction acceleration value is what? 0. appo enna theriyuma? Always the velocity will be what? Constant. Adoda value enna u. Always the velocity will be what? Constant. Adoda value enna u cos theta. But vertical direction la appadi kadiyadu. Because in the vertical direction initial velocity is what? U sin theta upwards. adukku da nama positive edukrom. But acceleration enna theriyuma? Downwards g. That's why minus g. So after time t, the vertical component of velocity, we are using which formula? V is equal to u plus at formula. So u sin theta plus a oda value enna? Minus g, right? So minus gt. Paranga, at a time t, if you look at the overall velocity, adu eppadi theriyuma? It will be like at any point you look at the overall velocity, it will be like what? Along the tangent to the curve. That is the direction of the overall velocity. Okay va? So x component of velocity evada? U cos theta. Y component of the velocity evada? U sin theta minus gt. X component of the velocity evada? U cos theta. It will be always constant. Verum and the y component of velocity mattum change agum. Okay va? So this is going to give us what is the instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity eppadi varum? If you want to have the velocity value means, how do you get the velocity value? X component theriyum, y component theriyum. So how do you know the velocity value? Velocity will be equal to what? Root of vx square plus vy square dana. X component square plus y component square. Inga parunga. So eppadi varum? Root of u cos theta the square plus u sin theta minus g square. Okay, idu nama simplify panna venda, but just remember this. If you want to have the total velocity at a time, general time t, what is it? It will be given by what? Root of vx square plus vy square. Okay va? So இப்படிதா நமக்கு அந்த total velocity ஓட value வரும். Okay, அடுத்தது என்ன பாருங்க. If we want to look at what is the angle made by that velocity with the horizontal, இங்க பாருங்க. So if the velocity is making an angle alpha with the horizontal, so then the vertical component of velocity, Then the horizontal component velocity. That resultant the overall velocity. So tan alpha is equal to what? Vy by Vx. Vy evala u sin theta minus gt divided by Vx evala u cos theta. So what are the two important results? And the total velocity value, what is it? Root of Vx square plus Vy square. Vx evala u cos theta. Same throughout. Vy u sin theta minus gt. Based on the time, that value change agum. So the angle made by the total velocity with the horizontal, that formula in tan alpha will be Vy by Vx. Vy evala u sin theta minus gt, Vx evala u cos theta. Okay, wow. So this is going to give us the instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity value varum. Okay. Adutha paranga time of ascent. Time of ascent enna theriyuma? The point of the projection landa it will go to a maximum height. Okay, so maximum height enna solittu already we talked about it. So when it goes to the point at maximum height, other significance enna? Vertical component of velocity will be 0. At the maximum height, vertical component of velocity it will be 0. Ena and the level it is not going any further, right? Which means what? When we go to the maximum height, vertical component of velocity value will become equal to what? 0. Okay, wow. So already we have the vertical component of velocity formula. What is it? U sin theta minus gt. That value must become 0. U sin theta should be equal to gt, which means u sin theta by g is equal to t. This is the time which will be the time it takes to come to this particular point. And the time time of ascent and solu. So up to reaching the maximum height. That particular time we call it as time of ascent. Okay, wow. So time of ascent the time it takes for the projectile to reach maximum height. Point of projection up to it comes to maximum height. Eppadi and the value we find out by using that condition. And what is the condition? When it comes to maximum height, vertical component of velocity must become 0. Okay, wow. And the condition used panni we are able to get the value. So the time of ascent u sin theta by g. So in the values so that we will be able to use them whenever required. Okay, wow. So we are also here to find maximum height value. So maximum height eppadi varudhu paranga? Maximum height ananadi it is the vertical displacement dana. Maximum height is what? Vertical displacement. Vertical displacement. For how much time? H max is nothing but what? Vertical displacement at what time? And the time of ascent or instant la. Because it is the vertical displacement at the time of ascent instant. Okay. So time of ascent already namu theriyum. But vertical displacement formula enna? Vertical displacement already namu the trajectory idhula paathirukom. What is the vertical displacement formula? U sin theta into t minus half gt square. இப்போ இதில் நம்ம t க்கு பதிலாக நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண போகிறோம்? டைம் ஆஃப் அசென்ட் பாருங்க. அப்படி சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண நமக்கு என்ன? vertical displacement will be h max. So u sin theta t க்கு பதிலாக நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண போகிறோம்? u sin theta by g. ஓகேவா? minus half g into u sin theta by g the whole square. இங்க பாருங்க, what is it? u square sin square theta by g minus இங்க என்னது? u square sin square theta by 2g வரும் பாருங்க. என்ன இங்க ஒரு g இருக்கு நியூமரேட்டர்ல, டினாமினேட்டர்ல g ஸ்கொயர் வரும். ஸோ ஒரு g கேன்சல் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் we'll have a g in the denominator. ஸோ என்னது பாருங்க, u square sin square theta by g minus u square sin square theta by 2g. இது எப்படி இருக்கு பாருங்க. ஸோ this is like what? x minus x by 2 மாதிரி தானா? x u square sin square theta by g is like x. u square sin square theta by 2g அது எப்படி இருக்கா? x by 2. So what is x minus x by 2? x by 2 தானா? Which means the final h max என்னது? What is the h max value? u square sin square theta by 2g பாருங்க. This is an important result. இதுல நம்ம ரெண்டு ரிசல்ட் பார்த்திருக்கோம். What is it? Time of ascent formula. What is it? u sin theta by g. அதுக்கப்புறம் h max formula. What is h max formula? u square sin square theta by 2g. எப்படி வருது? Just the vertical displacement of that projectile at exactly the time of ascent oda instant la. Enna time of ascent enna theriyuma, that is the time it takes to reach maximum height. On the particular instant la அப்படியே அந்த டைம் எடுத்துட்டு we are substituting in the vertical displacement formula. Okay, so this is about the h max. The question பாருங்க, two objects are thrown at angles 45 60. So one object we are throwing at an angle 45, one object enna throwing at an angle 60 with the horizontal. If both objects attain the same vertical height, both objects are vertical height is what? Same. Then the ratio of magnitudes of velocity with which these objects are projected. அப்போ நம்ம என்ன calculate பண்ணணும்? Let's say இந்த first object ஓட angle is theta 1 வச்சுக்கலாம், second object angle என்ன theta 2. So இதோட velocity u1, இதோட velocity u2. So என்ன கேக்குறாங்க? What they are asking? The ratio of magnitudes of velocity with which these objects are projected. என்ன கேக்குறாங்க? They are asking u1 by u2 ஓட value. Okay, எப்படி solve பண்றது? பாருங்க, these two objects are having the same vertical height. They attain the same vertical height, which means what? The h max oda value is same both of them. H max formula enna? First object u1 square sin square theta 1 by 2g. Second object u2 square sin square theta 2 by 2g. Idhula 2g cancel aidum. Parunga, u1 square by u2 square adu enadhu? Sin square theta 2 by sin square theta 1. So theta 2 evla 60 dana. So sin square 60 by sin square 45 root 2 the square. Okay, so ipo enna pannalam, we will take a square root on both sides. Ena namak enna venum? u1 by u2 venum. Indha LHS la paranga, what is there? u1 square by u2 square is there. Appo nama enna pannalam? We will take a square root on both sides. Square root edutha and the bakku we are having a square, cancel aidum. So look at it, u1 by u2 evladhe? It will be root 3 by 2 divided by 1 by root 2. Both sides take a square root. Appo root 3 into root, in the root 2 numerator lo poidum, divide by 2. Inga parunga, root 2 ones are root 2 times. So root 2 into root evla? 2 dana. So namakku answer varudhu. What is it? If you look at it right, what is the answer we are having finally? u1 by u2 adala value enna? It will be what? So u1 by u2 evla? It will be root 3 by root 2, which you can say it as what? Root of 3 by 2 appadi eludala. So what is the answer? Option 4. In a straight question dana, they are giving us the condition. First object oda angle of rotation kuduthirukanga 45, second object oda angle of rotation 60, and the rendu objects oda vertical height means maximum height we are taking, that is same. And the particular condition based panni they are asking us what is the ratio of magnitudes of velocity, and the object is the magnitude of velocity, which means u1 by u2 oda ratio kekranga. So adu eppadi varudhu? Same. In the bakkalandu we will take the maximum height oda formula, and the bakkalandu we will take the maximum height formula. Rendu equate panna adulandu we will get first namakku u1 square by u2 square varum, square root edutha u1 by u2 will come. Adukapram just mathematical simplification da. Okay va? So what is the answer for this? Option 4 is the answer. Another concept paranga, time of flight and range. Okay, so time of flight enna theriyuma? Ingala irundhu start pannittu this is going up to the maximum height, adukapram it starts coming down, and the bakka it will reach the surface of the earth again. So total time it takes to come from ingala irundhu inga varathukku, that is what we call as the time of flight and solluvom. Inga enna theriyuma? The time it takes to reach maximum height, adukkenna we are using the word time of ascent and sollitte. Anga maximum height la irundhu keel varathukku we will be calling as time of descent. Enadhu? Time of descent. Anga keel varathukku already nama time of ascent ennu solli paathirukom. What is time of ascent? Keel la irundhu up to the maximum height, the time it takes. Anga maximum height position la irundhu thirupi and pakkam keel varathukku what is the time going to be called as time of descent. When the total journey or time irukku theriyuma, that is what we call as time of flight. Edukku nama time of flight nu solluvom? Because in this entire the trajectory the projectile is in flight, that is the reason why time of flight. Okay, idu eppadi nama calculate pandrathu parunga. So when the particle or projectile reaches the ground again. So time of flight and so on, it has to come back to the ground again, right? In the bakka it has to come back to the ground again. Okay. What about the vertical displacement? What about the vertical displacement? Zero dana. Vertical displacement zero value, it will be zero. So vertical displacement formula anadi, what is the vertical displacement formula? Sy is equal to what? U sin theta into t minus half gt square dana. Idu nama appadiye zero equate pannalam parunga. So adula enna varum? So if you idhula t nama common edukalam. So t common edutha parunga, t into, so what are we doing? Vertical displacement nama zero equate பண்ணுவோம். எதுக்கு? Because when it is coming back to the ground means vertical displacement zero தானா. So இங்க பாருங்க, இந்த expression ல இருந்து t common எடுக்கலாம். t எடுத்துட்டா what you will have? U sin theta minus half g into t is equal to 0. இதுல இருந்து நமக்கு t 2 values வரும். என்னது? either t is equal to 0, அப்படியே t is equal to 0 இல்லனா u sin theta minus half gt is equal to 0. t is equal to 0 என்ன தெரியுமா? This is the starting time. Starting time la what will be the vertical displacement? 0 only, right? The starting time la what will be the vertical displacement? 0 dana. So this is the known condition. Adu vidunga. In the condition parunga, u sin theta minus half gt is equal to 0. So u sin theta will be half gt. 2 in the bucket edutuvanga. 2u sin theta divided by g. 2 on the numerator la poidum, g will come to the denominator. This is equal to what? T. This is the nammaloda time of ascent. Sorry, time of flight. What is it? This is the time it is taking for the vertical displacement to again become 0. Vertical displacement will be 0 at 2 time values. Eppo it will be 0 when you are starting the journey. T is equal to 0, you will have vertical displacement 0. 3p it is becoming 0 at how much time? 2u sin theta by g. This is our importance irukku enna theriyuma parunga. Time of ascent nam already derive pannirukkom. What is time of ascent value? U sin theta by g. What is time of ascent value? Evladhi? Time of ascent already நம்ம calculate பண்ணிருக்கோம் அந்த maximum height derivation. What is it? U sin theta by g. இப்போ time of flight எவ்வளவு வருது? 2u sin theta by exactly double வருது. Which means time of ascent is what? U sin theta by g. Time of descent also will be u sin theta by g. Which means the கீழ இருந்து மேல exact maximum height position க்கு வரதுக்கு it is taking some time. அது எவ்வளவு? U sin theta by g. It is taking the same amount of time to come down again. So we will say the motion of oblique projectile is symmetric and சொல்லுவோம். Symmetric with respect to what? With respect to this maximum height line. Symmetric with respect to what? The maximum height line la பார்த்தா the way it is coming up அப்படியே அந்த பக்கம் it will go down. Okay va? So இங்க பாருங்க, கீழ இருந்து மேல வரதுக்கு what is the time it is taking? U sin theta by g. திருப்பி அந்த maximum position வந்து கீழ போறதுக்கு it is taking the same amount of time, U sin theta by g. So we will say what? The oblique projectile motion is symmetric with respect to what? And the maximum height of the line இருக்கு தெரியுமா? அந்த line base பண்ணி it is symmetric. இங்க பாருங்க, the way it is coming up அப்படியே அந்த பக்கம் போய்டும். So you can see the entire trajectory also is what? Symmetrical. Okay va? So we got time of flight namakku varudhu. What are we getting? We are getting what is the time of flight. But we are supposed to find one more thing. Enadhe? Range. So range enna theriyuma? The horizontal distance covered in this entire journey. In the particular journey la what is the horizontal distance covered? Inga parunga, horizontal it's a constant velocity, and the constant velocity oda value enna? What is the constant velocity value? U cos theta dana. Acceleration 0, adukku dhaan the constant velocity varudhu. So we are supposed to find what is the total distance traveled in the horizontal direction in the entire journey. Journey time evla? Time of flight dana. So inga parunga, sx formula enna? U cos theta into t. The t க்கு பதிலா நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண போறோம்? Time of flight. அதுல இருந்து தான் நமக்கு r range வரும். பாருங்க, range is equal to what? U cos theta into t க்கு பதிலா என்ன வரும்? 2u sin theta by g வரும். So பாருங்க, this is what u square cos theta irka sin theta irka 2 irka. What is basic maths la nama paathirukom 2 sin theta cos theta enadhi sin 2 theta. What is 2 sin theta cos theta? Sin theta. U square sin of 2 theta denominator na g. So range value evla u square sin 2 theta by g parunga. That is what is the range value. Okay, so just in the results la note panikonga. Idhula irundhu namakku enna varudhu? The time of flight formula. What is time of flight? U square sin 2 theta by g. Adukaprom range value. So range is what? U square sin 2 theta by g. So time of flight and range. Time of flight evla? Time of flight is equal to what? Exactly double that of the time of ascent, 2u sin theta by g. Apro range is what? U square sin 2 theta by g. Okay, so the question paranga, the equation of projectile is given by this: y is equal to ax minus bx square. Its horizontal range is, in the equation landu we have to find what is the horizontal range. Idhukku nariya approaches irukka. Eppadi theriyuma? We can calculate it by comparing with the standard equation. Standard equation enadhi? Y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. In the compare panni we can solve it. Appadi or approach irukka. Illana, so compare panni eppadi? Compare panna idhilande we will get tan theta value is equal to a. And the madri g by 2u square cos square theta is equal to b. So adilande we will try to convert this into the range expression. Adu or approach irukka. Okay, illana we can do in one more quick method. Enna theriyuma? When horizontal range and enna theriyuma? What is the horizontal range? The x direction of the displacement when the vertical displacement is 0. Appadana vertical displacement should be 0, right? So equation of the projectile nu sonna enna theriyuma? This is the relation between the y coordinate value and the x coordinate value. In the equation appadiye nama y ku badala 0 substitute pannalam. Edukku nama 0 substitute pannuvom? Because when we talk about range enadhi, this is the origin, starting point. So thirupi inga varumbodhu, this is the x coordinate value enna r, y coordinate will be what? 0. X coordinate value enna r, y coordinate will be 0. So appadiye nama the equation la y ku badala 0 substitute pannalam. Parunga, 0 is equal to idhilinde x common varum, a minus bx. So ipo enna possibilities? Either x is equal to 0, adu or possibility, illana a minus bx is equal to 0, which means enadhi a by b is equal to x. Idu or possibility. So x is equal to 0 and theriyuma, that is the starting time. X is equal to a by b means the other position where the y coordinate is becoming 0. Enadhi? That particular x value is what? Nothing but the r, right? Other than the range. Adana 3p y value is going to become 0 when the x coordinate is equal to r. Appadana. So when the x coordinate is becoming r, then the y coordinate will again become 0. Okay, so it's a very easy approach, quick approach. So we are straight away taking the equation, adula y ku badala nama 0 edukurom. 0 edutha what are we getting? X ku rendu values varum. X is equal to 0, adanadi it is corresponding to starting point. We will get one more value of x, adanadi x is equal to a by b. So this is around the range point. So second coordinate, x coordinate, y will be 0 at two values of x. One another x is equal to 0, rendavadu x is equal to r, range point. Okay va? So both these points. So inga parunga, the starting point will be what? 0, 0. Ingeyum y coordinate 0. Range point, anga y coordinate enna 0. X coordinate is r, y coordinate evla 0. Okay va? So we can solve that way also. Illana we can compare the given equation with the standard equation, and the rendu equations compare panni adilundu we can solve. Okay, eppadi theriyuma? Maybe I will just show that method also so that you will be able to get that clarity. Ena ore problem நம்ம multiple approaches la solve பண்ணலாம். So inga parunga, what is it that we can do? We will just take this equation அப்படியே எடுத்துட்டு we can solve. So இதில் என்ன கம்பேர் பண்ணால் what you are going to get? A is equal to tan theta வருது. Okay, அந்த மாதிரி B is equal to what? G by 2u square cos square theta. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம் தெரியுமா? tan theta என்னது? sin theta by cos theta தானா? So if you do a by b அப்படியே எடுத்துட்டு a by b பண்ணி பாருங்க sin theta by cos theta divided by what g by 2u square cos square theta இதில் ஒரு cos theta cancel ஆயிடும் இந்த 2u square cos theta numeratorல போயிடும் 2u square cos theta already ஒரு sin theta இருக்கா numeratorல divide by g இது என்னது பாருங்க 2 into sin theta into cos theta என்னது sin 2 theta தானா so என்ன வருது finally a by b is equal to what u square sin 2 theta by g இது என்னது range தானா so அப்படி நம்ம அந்த equation will compare with the standard equation compare பண்ணாதிலிருந்து we will be able to rearrange the terms இங்க என்னது we are doing a by b பண்ணா we are straight away getting the range value so same problem can be applied in or approached in different methods okay so this is a important result if you look at the range formula right adula parunga if you look at the range formula then the u square sin 2 theta by g okay so say for example we will take two projectiles ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் same initial velocity but angles என்ன தெரியுமா for one of them the angle of rotation alpha எடுக்கலாம் இன்னொன்னு angle of rotation is 90 minus alpha so what do you say these two angles are what complementary angles ஏன்னா two angles add up to 90 means what complementary two angles add up to 180 means supplementary okay so the angles of rotation are what complementary so இங்க பாருங்க first projectile range என்ன u square sin 2 alpha by g வரும் second projectile range r2 is equal to what u square ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் same velocity sin 2 அந்த alpha so angle என்ன வருவீங்க 90 minus alpha இங்க பாருங்க 90 minus alpha by g u square sin 2 இருக்கா 2 multiply பண்ணா 180 minus 2 alpha by g already நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம் what is it if you have sin of 180 minus theta என்னது sin theta தானா what is sin of 180 minus theta sin theta okay so பாருங்க u square sin of என்ன இருக்கா 180 minus 2 alpha இருக்கா so sin 2 alpha by g so இதுல இருந்து நமக்கு வர ரிசல்ட் என்ன if you have two projectiles which are having complementary angles of rotation complementary என்ன தெரியுமா if one angle is alpha there will be 90 minus alpha so both of them will be adding up to what 90 அதுதான் நம்ம complementary angles னு சொல்லுவோம் இங்க பாருங்க if you have this military tanker you project with an angle 30 with a particular velocity you will get a range அதுல இருந்து ஒரு range value வரும் even if you change the angle to 60 நம்ம 60 ஆ மாத்தா you are going to hit the same target because the range will be same for both of them என்ன பாருங்க 30 plus 60 எவ்வளவு this is what 90 both are what complementary angles so what is the result here if there are two projectiles with same velocities and angles of rotation complementary அப்படி இருந்தா both of them are going to have the same range but இங்க பாருங்க the maximum height will be different அந்த ரெண்டு projectile pathல you will see that maximum height will be different but ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் you have the same range okay va this is an important result in the range calculation so if you have two projectiles having complementary angles of rotation adilande we are going to get the same value of range இங்க பாருங்க this question two projectiles are projected at angles pi by 4 plus theta pi by 4 minus theta with the horizontal and angles pi by 4 plus theta is one of them ingonu projectile pi by 4 minus theta okay both the angles are measured with the horizontal where the value of theta is less than pi by 4 theta oda value is less than pi by 4 with the same speed and the rendu projectiles oda same speed is what same the ratio of horizontal ranges described by them is straight question eppadi look at it what are these angles inga parunga alpha is equal to what pi by 4 plus theta beta these are the angles of rotation pi by 4 minus inga parunga so add both of them add panna enna varum alpha plus beta is equal to what pi by 4 plus theta pi by 4 minus theta add panna enna varum this is what pi by 2 90 dana which means what these are complementary angles if you have the same speed means both of them will be having the same range means what will be the ratio of their ranges 1:1 avladha just straight theoretical question if you have projectiles having complementary angles with same velocity and the projectiles range will be what same okay so both of them will be having the same range idhula nama substitute panni thirupi solve panna venda ena already we have the standard result. If the angles of projection are complementary, velocities are same, then both of them will be having the same range. Okay. Another question paranga. The horizontal range and the maximum height of a projectile are equal. Then what is the angle of projection of the projectile? So idhil namakku rendu formulas varudhu. What is the maximum height formula? U square sin square theta by 2g. Adana. What is the range formula? U square sin 2 theta by g. Illana we can write in another way. Eppadi u square and sin 2 theta ku badala what we can write? 2 times sin theta into cos theta by g. And the sin 2 theta ku badala what we can write? Because sin 2 theta is equal to what? 2 sin theta into cos theta na. So idhil enna solranga, the horizontal range is equal to maximum height. Appadi irundha then they are asking what is the angle of projection. Enna pannom? Appadi and the rendu values nama equate pannom. U square sin square theta by 2g idanadi maximum height formula is equal to u square 2 sin theta cos theta by g. Idla g cancel adum, u square cancel adum. Sin theta also will cancel 1 sin theta. Inga parunga what you are going to get, the trigonometric function mattum நம்ம left side la eduthu varalam. So sin theta by inga sin theta irukka numerator la and pakkam cos theta, go to the denominator. RHS la enna varum, we have a 2 here, adu appadiye numerator la varum. Sin theta by cos theta is equal to what? 4, which means tan theta is equal to 4. Idan theta oda value enna eppadi nama represent pannudhu? Theta is equal to what? Tan inverse of 4 dana. What is the answer? Option 4. What is the answer for this one? Option 4. Okay. So straight question. Verum and the formulas mattum namak nabagam ichukonum. Okay. So like this we will have lot of questions in NEET examination straight on the formula. So ella formula. What are the formulas? Time of ascent u sin theta by g. Time of flight 2u sin theta by g. Time of descent is same as time of ascent. Adukapram equation of the oblique projectile enadi y is equal to what is it? It will be what? X tan theta minus g x square by 2u square cos square theta. Adukapram maximum height adanadi u square sin square theta by 2g. Range u square sin of 2 theta by g. Ella formulas namak nabagam vechukonum. Okay. We will go into the next concept. Also we got one question, I think previous year la we got a question based on this particular idea. Change in velocity and change in momentum. Another change in velocity and change in momentum. Generally we know velocity and the projectile velocity change agum. Horizontal component change agadu, but the vertical component of velocity will change. Based upon that the overall velocity also will change. Based upon that the overall velocity also will be changing. Overall velocity changing means other the momentum also will change. The particular momentum also will be changing. Okay va? So we are going to look at how the velocity of the projectile will be changing and the momentum also will change. Adukku we will look at two important points. Enna theriyuma? The maximum height point and range point. Generally in the points based panida we will be asked questions. Enna we will look at the maximum height point and the range point. Range point enna? The point where the projectile is again coming back to the ground. That is what is we call as the range point. If we talk about the maximum height point, what is the, so first I will write initial enna solittu I will just write down initial ux adana u cos theta uy evala u sin theta adu eppadi nama vechukom. Maximum height point la at the maximum height ux throughout will be same dana, change agadu. Ux value will not change at all because horizontal direction la acceleration kadiyadu. So horizontal direction velocity will always be same u cos theta, but the v అని వెచ్చుకోవాలి ఎన్న అన్న ఫైనల్ నామ ఎడుకు మాదిరి vx is equal to what? u cos theta ఉంది. Okay, but vertical component velocity ఎంత தெரியுமா? Because maximum height అనేది, because remember அந்த derivation நம்ம எந்த condition யூஸ் பண்றோம்? We are using the condition that the vertical component of velocity becomes 0. அதுதானா? So at the maximum height point vertical component of velocity becomes what? 0. At the maximum height point vertical component of velocity becomes what? 0. Okay, so if you are looking at what is the change in velocity. அது எப்படி தெரியுமா நம்ம derive பண்றது? We will try to look at the velocity in the vector notation. அதுல இருந்தா we will be able to tell. So look at it. Initial velocity as a vector. பாருங்க, it will be what? U cos theta into I plus U sin theta into J. Initial velocity U cos theta into I plus U sin theta into J. The velocity at the maximum height, அதுக்கு வெறும் you have only horizontal component, vertical component கிடையாது. So we have to find the change in velocity means what? We have to do this minus this, final velocity minus initial velocity. பாருங்க, என்ன வரும்? We have to do the change in velocity means what? Final velocity value minus initial velocity value. Okay, so always நம்ம அந்த change of velocity or change of momentum ன்னு சொன்னா we should know that velocities and momentum are what? Vectors. இங்க பாருங்க, v bar minus u bar is equal to what? This minus this. அப்ப என்ன ஆகும்? So u cos theta into I minus of u cos theta into I plus u sin theta into J. Okay va? So இதில் என்ன? u cos theta into I minus u cos theta into I minus u sin theta into J. So the u cos theta minus u cos cancel it. What is it? Minus u sin theta into J. This is the change in velocity. The value மட்டும் நமக்கு வேணும்னா we will have to take a modulus. So we want to have only value means what? We take a modulus. Modulus எவ்வளவு? It is what? Modulus எடுத்தா என்ன வரும்? அந்த மைனஸ் வராது. What is the modulus of j cap means 1. So value என்ன? U sin theta. So that is the value of change in velocity, magnitude, between which two points? Initial point and the maximum point, height point. Always we will look at what? Between the initial point and the other points. Whenever we say change in velocity, we will always give what? Between the initial point and any other point. So normally we will look at the maximum height point, adukaprom the range point. Okay, so change in velocity நமக்கு வருது. Change in momentum என்ன தெரியுமா? அப்படியே அந்த change in velocity term இருக்கு தெரியுமா? அதுக்கு நம்ம m மல்டிப்ளை பண்ணுவோம் அவ்வளவுதான். So change in velocity delta v வருது. Change in momentum என்ன தெரியுமா? Simply multiply the delta v with mass, அவ்வளவுதான். We will get the change in momentum. Okay, so இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா? We will look at between the initial point and the range point. Initial point, so அதோட initial velocity என்னது? We will write as what? U cos theta into I plus U sin theta into J. பாருங்க, what is it? U cos theta into I plus U sin theta into J. Okay, now when it comes to the range point, இங்க வரும்போது we know, so we look at the range point. Range point, right? Range point நமக்கு horizontal velocity தெரியும், horizontal component. ஏன்னா அது எல்லா இடத்துலயும் constant தான், U cos theta. Horizontal component everywhere is constant. But what about the vertical component? Vertical component எப்படி வரும் பாருங்க. Vertical component formula என்ன? What is the vertical component formula? U sin theta minus G into T தானா? T க்கு பதிலா நம்ம என்ன சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ண போறோம்? Range means what is the time? This is the time of flight. What is the time of flight value? 2u sin theta by G. பாருங்க, it is what? 2u sin theta by G. இங்க பாருங்க, G cancel ஆயிடும். What is it? U sin theta minus 2u sin theta. Overall என்ன வருது? Vy will be coming as what? Minus u sin theta. என்ன தெரியுமா? இங்க பாருங்க, the horizontal component is same, but vertical component will be exactly downwards. It will be same. இங்க பாருங்க, initially என்னது? U sin theta. Finally when it comes to ground, it will be u sin theta but downwards. அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம மைனஸ் எடுக்கிறோம். Minus ஓட significance என்ன? It will be same u sin theta value but downwards. Okay வா? So இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? We are going to find what is the change in the velocity rate between the initial point and the range point. இதெல்லாம் என்ன தெரியுமா? You can look at these like problems only. So all these are what? We are done with the derivations. Derivations நம்ம முடிச்சிருக்கோம். என்னென்ன main derivations என்ன தெரியுமா? In this the main derivations are the range and maximum height and trajectory, அவ்வளவுதான். அதுக்கப்புறம் what we are doing is these are all standard problems. So initially velocity எவ்வளவு? U cos theta into I plus U sin theta into J. Already நீங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you will see that there will be questions on this particular thing. the change in momentum, change in velocity, adukaprom energy also. These questions will be coming quite often in the NEET. And final velocity anadi u cos theta into I minus u sin theta into j. edukku this is in the downward direction, but then that is why minus is taken. So paranga we have to take change in velocity means what? Final minus initial, this minus that, which means u cos theta into I minus u sin theta into j, that is the final, minus u cos theta into I plus u sin theta into j. idhila enna theriyuma, minus u cos theta plus u cos theta cancel agum, idanadi minus u sin theta, already minus u sin theta, total enna varum minus 2u sin theta into j is the change in velocity. But verum namakanda magnitude mattum venuvanna, what is it? We will take a modulus edutha enna varudhu parunga, it will be coming as what? Simply 2u sin theta. This is the change in velocity between what? The initial point to the maximum height point. Okay va? So we have seen change in velocity between initial point and maximum height point, adukapram change in velocity between the initial point and the range point. So next is the energy. Adutha the energy concept. Idanadu paranga, if you have the projectile, the point of projectile position enna theriyuma, it will have a kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy oda value enna, it is what? Half m u square. Maximum height point la what is the kinetic energy going to be? Because maximum height, the projectile is having only one velocity. What is it? U cos theta dana, vertical component velocity kadayadu. So at maximum height, the kinetic energy will be equal to what? Half into m into verum, the velocity will be just u cos theta only. So look at it, half into m into u square cos square theta. Is nama k dash and solala. So look at this, k dash will be equal to what? Half mu square is initial kinetic energy, which is k into cos square theta. This is another standard formula. So if the initial kinetic energy at that point of projection, other value is what? K. If you say k, then the kinetic energy at the maximum height will be what? K dash is equal to what? K into cos square theta. Because at the maximum height, the total velocity will be just u cos theta only. At the maximum height, the total velocity will be what? Just u cos theta. Okay. And the last concept is, this is the question I think that has come in one of the AIMS examination. If you look at the motion of a projectile from another projectile, idhila enna theriyuma, look at it. If you have first projectile, adukku what is the x coordinate value? u cos u1 vechukla, u1 cos theta 1 into t after time t. Y coordinate value, what is the y coordinate? Y will be equal to what? u1 sin theta 1 into t minus half gt square. Engalandu varudhu, the x coordinate is nothing but the x displacement, y coordinate is nothing but y displacement. And the madri inga paranga, if you talk about the projectile 2, adoda x coordinate na, it will be u2 cos theta 2 into t. So we are assuming first projectile, adoda velocity is what? u1, angle is theta 1. Second projectile velocity is u2, angle is theta 2. Appadi, okay va? Then corresponding y coordinate, y2 will be equal to what? u2 sin theta 2 into t minus half gt square. So in the first projectile location coordinates, second projectile location coordinates நம்ம எடுக்கிறோம். Okay, இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா, we want to look at motion of a projectile as observed from another projectile. இது என்னது? The relative motion or relative position. Relative position என்ன தெரியுமா? So if we want to observe position of one particle with respect to other, we want to observe the position of one particle with respect to other, adukku eppadi, however we are going to get it, we will have to look at the, say for example we will take the second particle as the observer. Second particle nam observer icha enagum paranga, we want to look at what is the relative position of the first particle with respect to second particle. Appo nam enna pananum, we have to subtract the position of the second particle. And the x1 we have to subtract x2. This is what is going to give us relative position of the particle 1 with respect to particle 2. So what is x1 value? u1 cos theta 1 into t. x2 value na u2 cos theta into t. Okay, so x1 minus x2 will be equal to what? u1 cos theta 1 into t minus u2 cos theta into t. Adula the t nama common edutha enna varum? u1 cos theta 1 minus u2 cos theta into t. Okay va? And madri inga parunga. So I'll just write down the second equation. x2 will be equal to what? u2 cos theta 2 into t. And madri y2 is equal to what? u2 sin theta 2 into t minus half gt square. Okay va? So we look at what is the relative y coordinate. அதுக்கு நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? y1 minus y2. இங்க பாருங்க, if you do y1 minus y2, the minus half gt square minus half gt square cancel ஆயிடும். Cancel பண்ண என்னது? u1 sin theta 1 into t minus u2 sin theta 2 t. இதுலயும் இந்த t common வரும். இப்போ என்ன தெரியுமா? Just look at this. The relative position of projectile 1 with respect to projectile 2 means we look at the relative x coordinate, relative y coordinate. Relative x coordinate என்னது? x1 minus x2. Relative y coordinate means what? y1 minus y2 தானா? இப்போ பாருங்க, the relative x coordinate value and relative y coordinate value, அதுக்கு relation என்ன வருது பாருங்க. If you do relative x coordinate by relative y coordinate, what is it? u1 cos theta 1 minus u2 cos theta 2 into t divided by u1 sin theta 1 minus u2 sin theta 2 into t. ரெண்டுத்துல அந்த t cancel ஆயிடும். இப்போ என்னது? This is like what? x by y is equal to like a constant c. பாருங்க, what is it? x by y is equal to what? எல்லா constant தானா? t cancel ஆயிடுச்சு. எல்லாம் என்ன இருக்கா? numeratorல we have u1 cos theta 1 minus u2 cos theta 2. denominatorல u1 sin theta 1 minus u2 sin theta 2. So this is like what? X by y is equal to constant, which means what? It's like x is equal to some constant into y. Another, what is this? This represents a straight line dana. If you have y is equal to constant into x, and x is equal to constant into y, what is it representing? It is representing a straight line. So motion of one oblique projectile, when you see it from another observer as what? Another oblique projectile, the motion looks like a straight line. This is a very standard question. Maybe you can remember it. So edukku nama indha derive pandrona, you will be able to understand eppadi varudhan solittu. Otherwise, in some textbooks enna theriyuma, you will see it like a point or bullet point madiri. They will say that okay, the motion of one projectile with respect to another projectile is straight line. Adu eppadi varudhan solittu we are able to understand. So enadi, we are trying to look at the x coordinate position, y coordinate position of one projectile. And madiri x coordinate and y coordinate of another projectile. We are looking at the relative x coordinate of one with respect to other. Anna, we are subtracting x1, or we are subtracting x coordinate of one particle with respect to other. So here we are taking the particle 2 as the observer. Means relative x coordinate is what? x1 minus x2. We are taking the particle 2 as the observer. Relative y coordinate of particle 1 with respect to particle 2, adanadi y1 minus y2. So இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பார்க்கணும்? We have to look at only the relative x coordinate and relative y coordinate relation. அது எப்படி இருக்கா? If you look at x by y, that is coming like a constant, which means what? The relative motion of one projectile with respect to another is going to be what? It is going to be a straight line. Okay va? So this is about the oblique projectile, and in the next class we will start with the